Okay, so ignore my loud neighbors, they're having a party. But I pretty much just used Amazon, which is probably not the cheapest option. I could probably go into different stores, like the dollar store, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, whatever the case is, to find the best options for all of this stuff. But here's my notes on what I would need to start this. So my list is, I've seen a lot of people do their different things. Most people use the plaster of Paris. There's different options on Amazon. The 8-pound bucket is $12.79 and the 4-pound box is $4.68. So you would save a third of the price by buying the littler boxes and maybe dumping them into a container or whatever and use a scooper, because you use a little bit at a time anyways, so it's not like, or a little bit at a time anyways, so it's not like you need the bucket. The bucket is more convenient if you don't want to buy a bigger thing to dump them all into. A lot of other people use magic pour and casting powder, which magic pour is casting powder, and it's more, but you're getting a bigger amount, I think, and it's more expensive, but you also have less bubbles and more smooth of a mix. So I will probably be getting both to try both to see what ends up being the best, because I want the best product. Okay, next was the strips of paint, the little clear paint pots that are empty. On Amazon, you can get 100 strips that are 6 each for $24.99. I had also found an off-brand good reviews set for the same amount, 600 pots, which is 100 strips of 6, which people cut in half usually, so that'll last for like 300 orders. And that one comes with 100 brushes. That was $31.99. So that's the most cost-friendly, because you're only adding $7 for the 100 brushes, whereas the 240 brushes I found on a different, you know, not in a bundle by itself, is $15.99. So you're spending an extra $7 or $6, but you get 240 brushes, and they're 2 different sizes. So that'll be good for 120 orders. And then you get to put 2 in each one. So I think I'm gonna end up doing the $24.99 with the $15.99. And do them separately rather than the one together. The one together is more cost friendly, but you get a little bit, I mean, for the extra $7, I would rather send an extra brush with each kit. The next thing that I put on my list was adhesive magnets. I love the idea of my kids being able to come out here and putting their ceramic painting things all over my back porch. So that's kind of my goal. The front of my refrigerator is not magnetic, so I'm thinking that those are going to end up all over my back porch, and they're going to be the first ones to test it, so that's going to be awesome. For 300 of those, it's $11.99, on sale right now for $10.19, so that's cool. Or for the one that Amazon recommends, it's $9.99 for 100 of them. So I'll probably look at reviews and pick, you know, there's only $1 or $2 difference there, so I'll pick whichever one makes most sense, even though you're getting 300 rather than 100 for the extra $1. So like I said, I'll look at reviews and see what the difference is and what makes most sense. The next thing was the brushes, which I went over before because there was the pots and brushes together. Next is the paint. So there's a bunch of different options. There's a couple of off brands where you get almost 9-ounce cartons of 18 colors for $35, or you get the 10-ounce cartons for 14 colors for $33. In that same brand, you get the 33-ounce ones for $92. So you get triple the amount of paint for a little bit less than what triple would be if you bought the 10-ounce ones. And then there's also some cheaper options where you only get 8 colors, but I like the options of getting 14 or 18 colors, because each different set, each different painting, ceramic painting, will be a different color scheme, you know. Obviously boys, girls, or a mixture of boys and girls, Valentine's Day, trucks, Easter, you know, different things, different colors. Okay, the next thing I had was molds. I picked out several molds that I prefer, like that I like, and that people recommended through their videos of them doing this in their own cities, whatever else. So I found 13 molds that I wanted. That's letter molds, number molds, bow molds, and then there was 5 sets of 2 each. That was like flowers, hearts, trucks, cars, like bugs. I think I did another one of flowers. There was like a bumblebee set. So that, all of those come together as, number 6 was $72. So the molds are a one-time buy. You reuse them over and over until literally like they rip or something. And I've heard that if you take good care of them, like when you're peeling your ceramic out of the mold, or plaster, I don't know if you can call it ceramic, but if you do that, then you shouldn't have to buy your molds often. But I've heard that once you start buying molds, you can't stop buying molds. So that price is probably a reoccurring price. It would just be different molds each time. So that's $72 for that. I went with the idea of wanting to get the cellophane bags as well as like cardboard sheets so that we could put things on there. I'm thinking now, instead of cardboard sheets, I might want to go to Hobby Lobby and get like a book of cardstock, cute cardstock, because I honestly think that would be a better option so that each background can be different. But if you did the cardboard sheets on Amazon, there's 400 of them, 5x7 for $32, or 100 5x7 for $17.99. So if you wanted to do that, yes. I've heard a lot of people do their own cardboard. They cut up their own boxes, their unused, their mailing boxes, whatever else. So you could do it that way, where it's a lot more cost effective, and you cut up all the boxes that all your stuff comes in and whatever else. I'm hoping to have more orders than that, so I'm thinking that I might get my own like thick cardstock somewhere to where they're cute little backgrounds that match maybe the ceramic pieces that are going inside of that bag. The 120 count cellophane that seals, I found the 6x10 bags that I liked, because if the pieces are going to be 5x7 that you're putting the things onto and the paint onto, you need your bags to be a little bit thicker, because you got to be able to slide it in there and put whatever, extra stuff. So for 120 6x10 bags on Amazon was $8.59. So there's more bulk options and there's cheaper options. Obviously, if you want to go smaller, if you don't want big bags, whatever you decide. I want to do the hot glue option, where on these cardstock pieces, we're gluing the couple of pieces that they're purchasing and gluing the paint set, so that it's something that they have to use at home so they don't get their table or whatever dirty, as well as they come off easy and the glue will stay on the cardstock, not on the ceramic, to where we can now put on that adhesive, the adhesive magnet, so where you can use it at home. A lot of people also, you need to seal the ceramic, so you'll have to buy like a whatever from Walmart, or I don't know where else, like anywhere pretty much probably sells it, where it's sealing the whole, like after you paint it, and then you put the magnet on top of that. Then it's good for any like outdoor, indoor, as well as if you don't want to use the magnets that are included, they can be put in your garden, they could be put on anything, and once you seal it, it's good to go. So yeah, the next thing was my hot glue gun. I found a bunch of different colors, cute little ones for $8.99 that came with 30 glue sticks on Amazon. And it was Amazon's like option, like best like option. And then if you want to buy different like paper grass, I feel like that's something I can make myself by printing a cute color on a piece of paper and folding it up and then cutting it up. Or the dollar store if you don't want to go through the trouble of doing all that. There was some cute ones on Amazon where it was like shiny paper and this and that, but honestly, I'm not gonna pay $8.99 or $6.99 for that kind of thing. That's when you can go to the dollar store or not even do that option. Okay, so I added up the most expensive options of all of my 1 through 10. 4, I canceled out 4 because of the group buy thing, but I might end up putting that back in because I think I am gonna do my pots separately from my brushes. And then 10 I X'd out because it was the paper. So if I end up buying the dollar store paper, the number would go up a few dollars. So the total cost to allow shipping options, like to buy the cellophane and all the other things, was going to be $221.54. Obviously, people will pay their own shipping, and if I do it priority mail, I can get free priority boxes to ship these items. So I will have to spend a little bit more money on bubble wrap, because I want to be able to put everything in a bubble wrap so nothing breaks if it is being shipped. But the startup cost should be around $221. If you want to round it up to like $300, then that's cool. I counted it up. Not everything is higher. Most of the things are higher than 120 count. But the lowest thing, which was the cellophane bags, was 120 count. So that's how I added up if I'm going to make money off of this. So for 120 of them at $5 each, if they're sold one by one, you're making $600 is what you get out of that. So if you subtract that $300 startup fee for all the extra stuff, then you're gonna make $300 off of that. A lot of this stuff you're gonna have extras of, like the magnets, the strips, the paint probably, the molds are reusable, the cardboard sheets was a 400 count. So you're not gonna have to rebuy the whole $300 every single time you run out of the 120 things. Most of the stuff, the only stuff that you should be rebuying on a normal basis is the cellophane bags, the brushes, because there was enough for you to put 2 sizes of each of the 2 brushes, and then the powder for, you know, the powder to actually make the items. So if you were to do a 3 for $12 option, you're gonna make $480 off the first round, which minus the 300 is $180. So you are doing kind of a big deal on that. So you might maybe change that up a little bit, or I've seen these go for a lot more. I've seen them go for less. So each person's gonna have to kind of pick and choose what's good for their area, what sells, what doesn't sell, what to change. If they include 3 colors, if they include 6 colors, that matters too with your number of having the 600 pots. If you have 600 pots at 100 strips, the 100 strips is something you're gonna have to rebuy every time. Whereas if you're cutting them in half, you don't have to buy them every single time. So that's my startup cost thing. Again, shipping with priority, you can get the boxes straight from, like, they'll literally drop them off at your house. And then I use Pirate Ship for my shipping needs, and they usually give you pretty good prices. So you just print that out on your regular printer or thermal printer for like the stick-on labels. All of that I already have because I've done past businesses. But yeah, I think that I've covered most of the stuff that you need to start up this little shindig. I think I'm gonna do it regardless for my kids to kind of have something to enjoy when they get home from school, and it's still summer, so we still have a couple more weeks for that. But it's just something cool that, you know, we can have around here, and I can have other family members test it, and I haven't seen it in my area just yet, so hopefully it might be a good little thing. And if not, then that's okay. My kids will love doing it anyways. So thanks for listening to my startup video.